What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance Crew, and you are watching DaVinci Reacts. Today I'm going to be getting into another boxing-related video. This video was created by OfficeHanchoBoxing. Now, I've done reactions to their content in the past, and this is a very interesting video that I wanted to do a reaction to that I thought that you all would enjoy. Now, normally, when it comes to boxing, there are only so many ways. Well, actually, you don't want to lose at all in boxing, but if you were to lose, there are only so many ways you would want to lose, like, losing by decision, or worst case scenario, a ref stoppage, because you can still carry over some dignity from a ref stoppage. Maybe you got a cut over your eye, but you're still in there, you're fighting, and you didn't give up. It's just that the ref stepped in for you. Worst ways to lose in boxing. Now that's the question. What would be the worst ways to lose in boxing? Obviously, get knocked out. Like, not just knocked out, but getting knocked the hell out. Like, straight up, 100% put to sleep knockout situation. That's what you don't want to find yourself in. Maybe having the towel thrown in, because even though you're not the one that gave up, your corner threw the towel in, and it can come off like you gave up or something. That can be kind of tough. But there are worse ways to lose in fighting. And this video is going to cover a couple of them because I saw the thumbnail, and one of them in particular I do remember. So, yeah, there are worse ways to lose. And let's see if you can guess them before the video starts. Well, the video's starting. Worst ways to lose in boxing.
Charles Martin becomes the second American to win a belt since Shannon Briggs in '06 under the most unusual circumstances. Before I start, let's just state here, if you are a hardcore boxing fan and like seeing champions fight their mandatories and some real wild card guys and diamonds in the rough fighters who can't get a title shot within other organizations, the IBF is your organization to follow. Absolutely lovely organization. It's a pro boxing enthusiast organization, but for promoters and TV networks, it's a freaking nightmare. The IBF doesn't play. Oh, you don't want to fight your mandatory? Strip? Sorry family, you can't pay your way out this one. IBF has strict rules and they don't bend over for no one. People who are with the IBF and continuously make title defenses with them and do not vacate the title, which a lot of fighters do right upon winning the title. 1, they want to be great. 2, they are willing to fight anyone so they can receive title fight pay. And 3, gives them leverage for making the fights they want. So back on track. Martin becomes the IBF title holder, and his mandatory is Anthony Joshua now. If he was with any other title organization, he can somehow find his way out of this fight. Since he is with the IBF, he has 2 choices: risk it and fight Joshua, or be stripped. Like I stated, Martin possibly wanted to be great, or blindly went against Heyman's advice. The fight took place on April 9th, and Martin got demolished in 2 rounds. Martin only kept the title for 2 months and 24 days.
I mean, to be respectful, not respectful, but to be honest, if you have to duck and dodge certain fighters, does that make you a champion? You're only a champion by technicality because you're not giving other people an opportunity to fight. Truth be told, the other dudes are the champions. You're not. You're just holding the belt until they get there. Like, if I can naturally beat you, doesn't that make me better than you, thus make me a champion? If you're ducking and dodging me, you're only a champion by technicality.
He didn't even get to enjoy being champion. Before 2007, WBC, WBA, and IBF were the 3 titles to hold in boxing. The WBO was not recognized by all organizations till 2007. Hakeem Rotman is technically the last and final American title holder till Wilder won in 2015, and the last and final lineal heavyweight champion. Rotman was actually the interim champion, but he got promoted to be the actual WBC champion when Vitaly Klitschko retired from the sport in November 05. So he was given the title without fighting. After receiving a draw against James Toney, Rotman was making his second defense against old rival Oleg Moskaev.
They like their crowns,
it took a while for Moskaev to rebound, but at the age of 39, he was able to get his first shot at the world title. For the most part, early, Rotman easily took the first 3 rounds. Then Oleg will later tie it up on the scorecards. After the 7th, it just turned into a complete struggle of offense on both sides. These guys were absolutely exhausted. I'll have to really rewatch this fight, but little 12-year-old me thought Rotman was up on the scorecards and just needed to stay up to win. Rotman gets rocked in the 12th, and he was just too exhausted to form an offense of his own and was barely able to defend himself, resulting him to be stopped in the final minute. And holy crap, he was a couple punches from being knocked out of the ring again. If Nady didn't jump in, that was about to get ugly. Though Moskaev was exhausted himself, he seemed slightly hesitant to throw an extra shot because dude was about to fall out of the ring.
Don't even fall for it. If somebody looks like they're about to fall, I would be hesitant about throwing that extra shot, because if they get down to one knee before that shot lands on them, they could pretend to be knocked out and you get disqualified. Like, there have been boxers that have done that stupid stuff. But, I mean, that's always a weird question. Like, I mean, obviously, like, if you stop a fight in the middle of the fight, then there's not really a problem with that, unless it's obvious that the person can still defend themselves. But stopping a fight the last minute of a fight, like, the person, all they have to do is last another minute and they would, like, be able to go to decision or possibly even win if they're up ahead in the cards. I remember there was one fight, I forgot exactly all the details of it, but there was a fight where a fighter who was winning like most of the rounds but was losing towards the end of the fight, the ref stopped the fight with like 3 seconds left on the round, and that was the last round. So it's like the ref stopped the fight with 3 seconds left. The round would have been over by the time it took the fighters from like to get out of their neutral corners. Why would you stop that? I would have been so heated. Like, it's so crazy that the ref stopped the fight with 3 seconds left. So I'd have to, like, what do you all think about fights being stopped within the last minute? Like, do you think it's warranted? Do you think that a boxer can receive enough damage to permanently impact them within that minute that makes stopping the fight a good thing? I just don't know. I do not know.
With Rotman losing, that turned a chapter in heavyweight boxing. All title holders are now reigning from Eastern Europe.
Where have you gone, Joe Louis? A lonely boxing nation turns its eyes to you.
All 4 heavyweight title belts belong to fighters born and raised in former Soviet republics. So if the heavyweight division is dying in America, it is alive and well in Eastern Europe. And if you think this is not an exciting time for the heavyweight division here, you'd feel differently if you were from Kazakhstan or Ukraine or Russia or Belarus.
Then later in the mid to late 2000s and early 2010s, it was East and Western Europe that ruled the heavyweight division. Cintron, who has been quite inconsistent in performances and was an underdog against Paul Williams. It was actually a perfect style matchup in Cintron's favor. He was actually landing on Paul and was giving him trouble. The 4th round, he was having his best round. Then the weirdest exchange happened. He lost his balance and hopped out of the ring. Going by the replay, he didn't hit his head at all. Most of the damage that potentially he could have taken was to the shoulder, but Cintron may had thought he did enough to be up on the scorecards. And unlucky enough, the judges did not have Cintron up in the fight, and he lost by a technical decision. Every fighter would like to start their career and end it with a win, riding off into the sunset of retirement.
This is probably the most depressing final fight of a legendary boxer's career ever. I think they're about to talk about the final Hopkins fight, right? The way this ended was bad.
Middleweight and light heavyweight, great. Bernard Hopkins didn't want to do what most fighters that have retired on a win do and fight a low-risk opponent. He wanted to go out fighting the best. He picked a young, hungry, top 10 ranked contender, Joe Smith. Smith was coming up off of a huge upset victory against Fonfara, who had a big 2015 year demolishing Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and a great performance against Nathan Cleverly. It was a pretty close fight, back and forth from the two, but it was evidently clear that the long layoff in between this fight and the Kovalev fight, as well as age, was really starting to show on the old warrior Bernard Hopkins. Early in the 8th round, the unexpected would happen, and Hopkins would be knocked out of the ring in the worst spot to fall out of the ring. Upon falling, it seemed he had hurt his ankle/shoulder, and with a media member trying to help Hopkins up, that automatically disqualified him. If the fighter is knocked out of the ring, he has a 20-second count. He cannot receive any form of assistance. I don't think you can name any worse of a year in boxing than Ali Funeka's 2009 year. Funeka grinded his way through the South African ranks, winning a national title, then to later pick up the WBC international title in 2006. After a couple defenses and a huge win over Zahir Rahim in 2008, Funeka finally had a crack at pretty much the whole pot at lightweight. He was up against lightweight champion Nate Campbell. This fight was for the WBA, IBF, and WBO titles. Campbell didn't make weight, so the titles were now vacant and only Funeka can win it. Both guys came in rather heavy on fight night. Funeka was at 149 and Campbell was at 147, but it seemed like Campbell benefited big time as his shots really took effect on Funeka. For the most part, Funeka did enough to barely win the fight if he didn't get knocked down twice. Campbell, thanks to a knockdown in the 12th round, barely escaped away with a narrow majority decision win.
Funeka,
Like it turned into a wrestling match
from
towards the
South
end.
Africa, was oh so close. He was about a round and a half.
I can't see anything, but based on the way the cornerman was talking, I can already picture him. Yo, get good. I can imagine the most animated person in the world. I really don't know what's going on. Is he leaning against the corner?
Months later in 2009, Funeka will get a shot at the vacant IBF.
Is it me or does this dude look exactly like Mike Tyson?
Later in 2000.
You can't tell me just looking at that he don't like Mike Tyson. All you gotta do is just get curl his eyebrows up a little bit more. Dude looks like Mike.
2009, Funeka will get a shot at the vacant IBF belt that he fought for earlier that year against Juan Guzman, which this was pretty much a repeat. Guzman didn't make weight, and for the most part, Funeka did enough to win, but the judges saw it another kind of way. 117-111 Funeka on Letterman's scorecard. It was scored majority decision draw, and one of the judges offensively scored it 116-112 in Guzman's favor.
I mean, wow. Obviously, there's been some miscalculation, right? I mean, the judges added something wrong, right?
They taking a racer out? That's why they took so long?
Look at Funega's face, man. He's shocked. He's saying, wow. You know, this is his second time to America, and this is the same thing that happened.
But there's no question in my mind that this was a bad decision. I mean, you know, what more does a guy have to do to win a fight?
Well, Gary Shaw is absolutely crazy about this.
Funeka would get a rematch for the title and lose this time convincingly by split decision, and that was his last legit chance of winning the world title. Gotta feel sorry for this guy. And odd enough, I noticed fighters from the continent of Africa always seem to get the short end of the stick in close fights. I mean, Corte versus Obakar is a prime example here with questionable officiating. Corte gives Carr a boxing lesson.
Starting to beat him up pretty good now, Jim.
Yeah, Carr's having trouble defending himself now.
This is the round that Trinidad stopped Carr. The 8th.
Dude with the blue shorts is
Now, he did get a point deduction in the 4th, and a knockdown that should have really never been counted in the first place. Harrell scored the fight 116-109 in Cortez's favor, and it's good 2 of the judges saw that as well, but the first judge scored it 112-112. Holy crap, that's insane.
Wow.
I don't know, man, but this mystery here is a real head scratcher. The first thing to point out is, this fight is in Texas. Molina was really giving James Kirkland that heat, and he raised up quite a bit of a lead. He was up on 2 to 3 judges' scorecards, so Molina gets knocked down right at the end of the round. His corner comes in the ring when Molina gets up. The ref didn't hear the bell, so he booted out the corner, then followed up to disqualify them, declaring Kirkland the winner.
The corner entered the ring, okay?
Well, this fight was in Texas, and it was on the same card as the Kirkland-Molina fight. This was an open-scored fight, so both teams are given a copy of the scorecards after round 9. This was a very close fight with Morales getting the better of Garcia. When round 9 ended, Morales' corner flips out to break the bad news to Morales that the judges scored every round but 1 in Danny's favor. All that work done for nothing, and Morales is in an odd position that he now needs a knockout.
We're losing the damn fight. All the rounds, they gave him all the rounds. Only round 1 judge is giving you. All the rounds are lost. This son of a bitch, you gotta finish him. Even if you finish the fight, they can give you it if you're winning. The judges are gonna give it to him. To win by the judges, you see you can win the fight, but the judges, this is here, the judges are giving it to him.
Galata loses the first fight due to being disqualified for low blows. For the rematch, his camp was dedicated to training Galata to not throw low blows.
So the punches are going to be coming up here. They're going to be hitting him on the chin. They're going to be hitting him in the chest. They're going to be hitting him in the body. They're going to hit me there. Over here, we've taught Andrew to keep away. This is a no zone over here.
Why do you have to teach your boxer that? Okay, see, now that's a no-no area. You don't want to hit in the no-no area. Remember in kindergarten, you don't no touching in the no-no area. That's what you're not supposed to do. So stay up here and stay away from the no-no area. That's all you got to do.
Guess what? Despite Galata clearly on the road to winning the fight, he just wants to lose. And he throws an absolute offensive combination to Bo very low. The ref had enough and once again disqualified Galata.
He was winning the fight hands down, but because he's an idiot, he got himself disqualified. He didn't want to be there.
I have no idea. Like, why is he hitting people in the nuts? This dude has Draymond Green syndrome. Like, why are the nuts so attractive to your fist? Like, why are you doing that? And based on what they said, he was winning the fight. Unless there's something personal between you and Riddick Bowe, why are you... I don't know. Maybe Riddick Bowe slept with his girlfriend or something. Like, and he just wanted to take it out on his balls. Like, I have no idea why you would swing in that area.
Paul upsets Lewis as the 5-1 underdog, giving him his first loss to win the WBC heavyweight title. 6 months following up to the rematch, McCall was in several drug-related offenses that he was forced to go to rehab. So the mental state of McCall was very suspect, and it really showed off in full display on fight night.
Oliver McCall has not returned to his own corner after that 3rd round.
McCall refused to fight Lewis. Lewis, confused and not wanting to hurt the man, didn't know what to do.
If you threw punches at him. And now McCall's raising his... This is possibly, in a sport that is full of oddities, the strangest thing
I have no idea what happened with this.
McCall begins to break down crying after a talk by the ref in his corner to try and get him to continue.
A new twist to the plot. Oliver McCall is now crying. Let's listen in.
Moments after resuming the fight, Mills Lane was forced to stop the fight. And on top of that, This is the worst ways to lose in boxing. For more videos like these, be sure to like. If you're new, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram for boxing updates, news, memes, whatever. I'm Office Honcho, and I'm out.
Who was that? DJ Academics? Another way that would probably be irritating to lose a fight, something I said earlier, not necessarily for you, but like, because you wouldn't do anything wrong, but it would suck to lose this way, would be to have an opponent take advantage of the disqualification system and make you lose off of disqualification. Like I said, if somebody is on the ground to the point where like it's classified as a knockout. So I believe a knockout is like if they drop down at least one knee or something, that's a knockout. Or not knockout, but knockdown. If you hit somebody during a knockdown, like let's say you're just going at it and then like they stumble, hit their knee, and then you hit them again accidental. Even if it's accidental and it doesn't do any damage to them, if they pretend to be knocked out, the judges will give it to them, or the fight will be stopped and you'll lose for disqualification. Like I've seen it happen a couple of times. I don't know if they like rectified that and made it so that like they can be like, okay, this dude's obviously not knocked out. They're pretending. We're not going to give them the win. Or better yet, this dude clearly isn't knocked out. He's trying to win off of a disqualification or a bogus disqualification. We're going to call the fight in favor of the other guy because this dude's an idiot. Like, I don't know if it's changed like that. If you guys know about it, let me know in the comment section how rules in boxing have changed in that regard, the whole disqualification thing. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Office Honcho Boxing, I will have a link for their channel at the end of this video, the last 30 seconds, like I said before. The best way you can show support for them is to watch their videos. I have an original link in the description box. If you don't feel like watching the video twice, something I recommend is right-click the video, click open a new window, and when it opens in a new window, click play, put it on mute, let it play in the background while you're going through your everyday, daily video thing. And by the time you remember it's still going, hopefully it would have already have ended. So, you know, and then that way you would give them a view and they'll be able to make ad revenue off of it and things like that. So I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comment section. Enlighten me on the ways boxing might have changed, because I do watch boxing, but I haven't really been keeping up with modern boxing. The most I know about now, like the big story is Mike Tyson might possibly be returning. I don't know exactly. I know he's in shape again. I know he had a video where he said he was back. And I don't know what necessarily that implies. Does he mean back to fighting shape? Or does that mean back to, you know, actually boxing? I don't know. I look forward to seeing what happens. But, yeah, go in the comment section and let me know all the things that I might have missed recently. But I'm going to give you the deuces. I look forward to seeing you guys in a future video. I'm Devon DaVinci. Hopefully you've just been a little more enlightened. Deuces.